In 1831, Academy Professor Torre drank a lethal dose of strychnine mixed with some suspicious ingredient and lived to tell the tale about it. Why is that important to you? Stay tuned and find out why that matters to you today. Hello, my name is Amanda and I'm from The Wild Herbal, and today we're going to talk about some suspicious ingredients that is really amazing at detoxifying toxins and chemicals, certain chemicals, from your body and why that's important. I'm a mom of 5, and in my area we have several poisonous insects like the black widow, the brown recluse, and several poisonous snakes like the copperhead and rattlesnake. And we are 40 minutes from the nearest children's hospital. I went on a quest to figure out what I can have on hand as a mom just in case we had ended up with a rattlesnake bite or a copperhead or black widow or anything, or my child randomly found some poisonous plant and decided to ingest it. I wanted to figure out what I can do at home and give to my child immediately to save their life so that they would not have any lasting effects while we are on the way to the emergency room. And this is the one ingredient that I came across that should be in every household. And I'm sure that you have heard about it because it has been on a health craze a couple years back, so I'm sure everybody knows now what I'm talking about. But this mysterious ingredient is activated charcoal. Now, you may ask, what in the world is activated charcoal? I know that pretty much everyone is familiar with the nice brilliant briquettes that you get in the store. That is not what I'm talking about, and those are poisonous to ingest because they're mixed with a lot of other chemicals, so that is not something that you ever want to use in emergency situations. Activated charcoal is made from burning wood, coconut shells, olive pits, bamboo, and the burning reduces the weight and all the other ingredients, leaving you with carbon. And then they take that carbon and they steam distill it, and it activates it, and it makes a very porous substance that is positively charged, and so it attracts chemicals. When ingested, it attracts chemicals in the body. So there is a really cool story. This used to be very commonplace to use activated charcoal, and it was interesting because we were reading this book, Dear America, and it's about a family that is going on the Oregon Trail. The little girl Hattie and her friends, they were picking vegetables, wild vegetables, to put in their soup, and instead of the parsnips that they were picking, they actually picked poison hemlock. They were chasing up the parsnips, and a couple of the teenagers came through and they were taking the hemlock and eating it, and all of a sudden they started foaming at the mouth, and all the dads came running. They were trying to figure out exactly what was going on. Well, the 2 teenagers ended up dying, but the moms right away, as soon as they saw what was going on, they ran to the campfires, they grabbed their wood, and they started chopping off the burned pieces of wood and crushing them up. And the 3rd teenager, they were able to take enough of that activated charcoal, stick it in his mouth, and they were able to open his mouth. The other 2 boys, they weren't able to actually get the charcoal into their mouth because they were already had some type of lockjaw. But the 3rd teenager, they were able to get it in his mouth, and he did go into kind of like a coma state, but in a week or so he woke up and he was recovered and he was fine. All the activated charcoal that was in his stomach, it was able to absorb that hemlock poison. And so that's the same thing the story told in the beginning. The Academy Professor Torre took a lethal dose of strychnine and he mixed it with activated charcoal, and he drank it at the same time. And because the poison was mixed with the activated charcoal, the charcoal is positively charged and it absorbed the poison. So when it goes into the digestive tract, the poison is not absorbed into the body because it's absorbed by the activated charcoal. So, and then the activated charcoal, the body does not absorb it. It just goes right through your stools and you poop it out. So the body never actually interacts with the poison, and so thus his life was saved and he didn't get sick. So this is something that I keep in my house at all times, and we use it. I do have it on hand for the poisonous rattlesnakes, copperheads, and in that situation, I would mix the activated charcoal with a little bit of castor oil, because castor oil also draws out, and I would make a simple paste, and then if they were, wherever the bite was from the snake, I would put it on the snake wound with the patch so that it could immediately start working. I would also give it internally at that point, and then I would use 2 important blood cleansers, which is red clover and chaparral. So red clover pretty much grows over most of the Northwest United States, and it has these pretty little red flowers. You could also use white clover. So I would immediately take this red clover and I would mix it into the red clover with a little bit of chaparral, and I would mix it into a tea to give to my kids along with the activated charcoal on the way to an emergency room to help my child not to have any effects from the poison that they've encountered. So as a recap, if you are in an emergency situation, you want to immediately take 14 to 16 activated charcoal followed with as much water as you can drink. Or if you cannot swallow pills, you are going to take 1 tablespoon of activated charcoal. You're going to mix it into a little bit of water and drink that as quickly as possible. If it is a child and they're not willing to drink it, take a syringe and try to just to get as much as you can into their mouth. The next thing that you're going to want to do is take red clover or red clover mixed with chaparral, 1 teaspoon to 8 ounces of hot water, mixed maybe with a little bit of honey, and let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. The longer the better if you can. And you're going to want to take this as a tea as you're on your way to an ER to get help. So I hope that is helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have other uses for activated charcoal, if you've ever had to use activated charcoal in an emergency situation and how it turned out. And if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter to get different tips and tricks on how to use herbs and also some nice recipe cards, you can click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.